But yesterday, you guys were so excited to pull out the iPads and to get to start using them for our learning. And you had so many wonderful ideas. And a lot of you, go like this, a lot of you thought, I already know the iPad rules, Mrs. Patterson, because I heard a lot of you saying, I know the rules already.
I already know the rules.
So go like this to let me know, I already know the rules, Mrs. Patterson. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you something on my iPad. I have an app on my iPad that I really want to use this afternoon. It's called Pocket. I have so many apps on my iPad that I'm not going to spend all afternoon going through these to try to find Pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swipe all the way over. And I'm going to type in the word Pocket. We know how to spell Pocket. And I see that Pocket popped up as my first app. So I'm going to click on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new Pocket. So I'm going to tap that over on my iPad. Okay, and I need to name my Pocket. Name my Pocket. I'm not going to name my Pocket cheeseburgers because I'm not writing about cheeseburgers. We're writing about iPad rules today. We're coming up with iPad rules. So I think a really good title would be iPad rules, don't you think?
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up if you think that's a good iPad rules. Okay, and then I love Pocket. Thank you so much for your quiet thumbs up. I love Pocket because I get to pick which color I want my Pocket. I think my favorite color is pink, so I'm going to make my Pocket.
My favorite color.
If your favorite color is pink too, you could go like this to let me know.
My favorite color is purple.
Okay. I'm going to click Make It. And what I end up with is a bubble, just like we had a bubble this morning on our think tank. Remember how we wrote, how can we make the world awesome? Well, this one is I'm going to put iPad rules. So I'm just going to tap on that bubble, and you can't, for some reason it's not showing up. On my iPad, I see a little bubble underneath that says T. T for text. So I'm going to tap the T. And I'm so sorry you can't see it. I don't know why you can't see that, but I can type in, my keyboard came up, and I'm going to type in iPad rules. Now, I need your help to tell me what you think some of the iPad rules are. So let's just think for a minute. I want you to think in your head, what do you think is a really important rule that we should have in second grade so we can use our iPads for learning? And I love those hands that are raising up. There's no blurts that are coming out. Someone really thinking, huh? I can tell by that look on your face, you too. Wow, okay. Reese, what do you think is a really important iPad rule for us?
To stay up with the teachers.
To what?
To stay up with the teachers.
What do you mean by stay up with the teacher? I like that. I think what you're trying to say, I'm not sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're trying to say is that if I tell you that it's math time and you need to be doing a math app, you need to be on that math app.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
It is what you're trying to say. So it's not, if I tell you to be on a math app, you should stay on the math app, right? What did you say? Stay on the right app. You got it. Any other ideas for iPad rules? I think that's a great rule. There's a lot of other iPad rules that we have too. So far for our iPad rules, we have stay on the right app. That's what Reese said. I love that idea, Reese. It's a really important rule. Angelina, what's your iPad rule that you're thinking of?
You're supposed to hold on your iPad with two arms.
Oh,
Look at that,
two
two
hands. Okay, so I'll put use two hands. Excellent. Now, why is that important? Why is that important?
Because so it won't drop and it won't break.
Gosh, because if we drop it, it might break. And guess what? Do you get a new iPad if it breaks?
No.
Wait, Jose, break. Thank you so much. Thank you, Memo. Ooh, good job. Now, do you see how my lines are coming out just like this morning on the think tank? Okay, I'm going to tap my iPad rules because I need another iPad rule. You guys are on a roll right now. See another bubble that popped up? There it is.
What happened to that one?
You know what? This is acting really funky monkey. On my iPad, it doesn't look like this. On my iPad, it takes up the whole screen. I'll show you when I unplug it, okay? Michael, do you have any other iPad rules? Can you think of one? Would you like to call on somebody to help you out? Okay, call on somebody that's raising their hand. Yeah, what's your rule? What is your idea? All right, Jaden, do you have an iPad rule that you can think of, something that we have to do if we're going to use the iPads?
You always have to be careful.
Oh, be careful. I like that rule. Be careful. Love it. I need another rule. I'm going to add another bubble on here. Do you see my bubble coming on? Yes. Yes. What is your iPad rule, honey?
You have to hold it with 2 hands and do not break it, or the store doesn't let you get your other one.
Yes, we need to use 2 hands when we're holding our iPads. Absolutely. Carlos, did you have an idea for an iPad rule?
Don't give it to anyone that you don't know.
Oh yeah. Don't give it to anybody that you don't know, because what might happen?
They will steal it.
They might steal it. They might think, oh, I get to have this. It might get lost, and we don't want our iPads.
And they might drop it, but
Or
if
they
they
might
drop it,
steal
they
it.
pay for another one.
Let me share with you. You know how in the morning we go over our school rules and we say, be responsible, be respectful, be safe. There's also iPad rules, and I'm going to try to teach them to you right now. We'll see if you can get them. I don't know. Let me show you my poster, though. You're going to look at this and you're going to go,
I already know.
you have another iPad rule? On the count of 3, will you whisper your iPad rule to me? Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, class.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not sitting up nice and tall. Are you ready to learn the iPad rules? Yes, you are. Okay, here we go. Okay, so our first iPad rule is I will always wash my hands before using my iPad. Look at your hands right now. Clean or dirty?
Mine looks clean because I'm washing the back. Very dirty.
Ooh. If you say, oh, my hands are dirty. If you were getting ready to use your iPad for learning, you would not take your iPad out until they were clean. So when we do iPad rules, we say it like this. iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. Let's try it. Ready, Erin? iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. I think you've got that one. Are you going to use your iPad with dirty hands?
No.
No. Let's try that rule one more time.
Then
Okay?
germs will come.
Oh, ready? iPad rule 1 is
Wash your hands.
Okay, I think we've got it. Now let's add another one. iPad rule 2, and this is kind of what Angelina and Jaden said. I will always use 2 hands when carrying your
Because
iPad.
that's very, very careful.
So we say it just like this. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. Okay, try it again. iPad rule 2 is use your hands. Not use your hands, use 2 hands, right? 2 hands. You carry your iPad with 2 hands.
Use your hand.
Okay? So let's add on. Let's try number 1. Do you remember number 1? Probably you remember, I think. Do you remember number 1? Do you remember? Give me a thumbs up.
Wash your hands.
Okay, let's try it. Ready? iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. Good. iPad rule 3 is know where it's at. You are responsible. You are responsible for your iPad. You are responsible for your iPad. You need to always know where it's at so it does not get lost. So, for iPad rule 3, we say iPad rule 3 is know where it's at. And then you put your goggles on so you know where your iPad is all the time.
I see iPad.
Okay? Do you want to try adding it on from number 1 all the way to number 3? If you do, you give me a thumbs up. Okay? Let's try this. iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. iPad rule 3 is know where it's at.
I see.
Always. Okay? Good job. Okay, number 4. Here's number 4. It's a green one down here. It says, I will make sure to have an adult plug in my iPad when you see this. Now, the iPad cart is right over here against the wall. It's that big black cart. All of the iPads are in that cart and they're all plugged in. It's a rule that kids, 2nd graders, are not allowed to unplug the iPad. They're not allowed to plug in the iPad. It always has to be an adult that plugs in. Okay? Exactly. Well,
my iPad.
No. That's not why. It's because it's kind of a tricky thing to do. So it has to be an adult. So for iPad rule 4, we say iPad rule 4 is adults plug in. And we act like we're plugging in our iPad. Okay? Right. You got it. Ready? iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. iPad rule 3 is adults plug in. Okay, ready? iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. iPad rule 3 is know where it's at. iPad rule 4 is adults plug in. Okay, here we go. iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. iPad rule 3 is know where it's at. iPad rule 4 is adults plug in. Okay, you're almost there. iPad rule number 5, and this is exactly what Reese was talking about when we added it to our Padlet, when he said stay, can you see that? Stay on the right app. You are responsible for being in charge of your own learning and making sure that if I tell you, boys and girls, it's math time, you need to be on a math app right now, that you stay on that math app and you do what you're supposed to be doing. We have another lesson specifically about this rule, but for right now, we say iPad rule 5 is, and you pretend like this is the iPad and you tap apps, my teacher says. Okay, so we say iPad rule 5 is apps, my teacher says. Okay, do you think we can add that on from the beginning?
Yes!
Okay. Instead of shouting and saying, yeah, you could just give me a thumbs up, or you could give me a nod, or you could give me one of these. I love those, okay?
Yeah.
Here we go. And I'm looking for kids that are being 5-star listeners and participators right now. All right, Luis, you ready? iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. Good. iPad rule 3 is know where it's at. Good. iPad rule 4 is adults plug in. iPad rule 5 is apps my teacher says. Oh, wow, I'm impressed. Nice job. So I think you're ready for the last rule. The last one, no foods or liquids around your iPad. Ever. Okay, so that means if you have a water bottle or if it's a rainy day and you're eating your lunch inside our classroom, you are never ever allowed to have food or liquid, water bottle, Gatorade, whatever it is that you're drinking. Liquid is water, it's Gatorade, it's orange juice.
It's anything that moves.
It's anything.
It's in a bottle.
The liquid's usually in a bottle, soda.
We should turn our things around so we can put our iPad in.
So for iPad rule 6, we say iPad rule 6 is, and we go like this with our hands. It's like this. No foods or liquids ever. Yeah, you got it. So we say iPad rule 6 is no foods or liquids ever. Perfect. Okay. You ready? iPad rule 1 is wash your hands. iPad rule 2 is use 2 hands. iPad rule 3 is know where it's at. iPad rule 4 is adults plug in. iPad rule 5 is apps my teacher says. iPad rule 6